is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Black Hawks. We are Wisconsin.
It's a beautiful Saturday night here in Milwaukee. Miller Park is this long and so far successful homestand continues for the Milwaukee Brewers. Perfect tailgating weather once again, and oh, what a night for Junior Guerra last evening. 1 out away from a complete game, but he did pick up another win for the Brewers, striking out 5 and giving up next to nothing before giving way to Jeremy Jeffress to finish it up as the Brewers took the first game of this weekend series. Good evening from Miller Park. Alongside Bill Schroeder, I'm Matt LePay. Telly Hughes is our reporter tonight, and a lot of buzz about Junior Guerra's performance last night, and also a trade buzz going on. We're still a couple of days from the trade deadline, and Jonathan Lucroy, Rock, not in the lineup tonight. Trade talks are progressing, so Martin Maldonado is in. It's just how it works. The closer you get to the deadline, activity tends to pick up.
Yeah, it shouldn't be any surprise to anybody that Jonathan, his name has been swirling about. I mean, he has got great trade value. He's got a very, team-friendly contract, $5 million next year. So a lot of teams interested in Jonathan Lucroy. It's not a matter of if, I think it's when and who at this point. Craig Counsell is saying a trade is imminent, which really puts Martin Maldonado in the hot seat. Once again, even last year when Jonathan Lucroy was out with injury, Maldonado was asked to do the everyday job behind home plate. You're going to get good defense out of Maldonado, but last couple of times he's made starts. Very good for Martin. Got a home run, 3 for 7. He got a big hit a couple of days ago in a Brewers victory. So I think all eyes are going to be on Maldonado. And this is Maldonado's opportunity right now to show not only the Brewers but other teams that he can be an everyday catcher.
Yeah, he's been terrific at throwing out base runners, good defensively, and the offense picking up, especially as we mentioned these last couple of starts. He'll be catching Chase Anderson tonight, who snapped a personal 4-game losing streak with a victory over the Diamondbacks earlier this week. As we get you ready for the first pitch, we'll hear from Telly Hughes. He'll have more on tonight's Brewers starter. Game 2, Brewers and Pirates, coming up on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. Pittsburgh's Jameson Taillon will toe the rubber for the Pirates in hopes of evening the score. The crew will counter with Chase Anderson as the Brewers go for back-to-back wins to open the series. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back inside Miller Park. I'm Telly Hughes. Tonight, Chase Anderson will have the tall task of following Junior Guerra's 8 2/3 gem from last night, but he has definitely gained confidence along the way. Chase did pick up the win his last start against his former team. Anderson tossed 5 innings and had 5 strikeouts against the Diamondbacks, but Brewers pitching coach Derek Anderson would like to see Chase clean up a few things to prolong his starts.
Well, it was good. He got through 5 and minimal damage, and you know, you'd like to see him go 6 or 7. He just kind of ran out of pitches, but you know, to their credit too, they spoiled some. They ran deep counts. They hit some foul balls, and you know, and then finally put the ball in play. So you know, just in terms of what's going on, I'd like to see it end, the at-bat end a little bit sooner, and you know, the ball on the ground somewhere, and I think that would, you know, that'd be pretty good.
Coming up, can Chase continue the string of good starts and guide the crew to consecutive wins over the Pirates? Matt LePay and Bill Shorter will have lineups and the first pitch after the break when we continue from Miller Park.
Chase Anderson looking for win number 6 and for his second victory this week. If he can get it, it would secure a winning homestand here for the Brewers. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Spend the night with luxury. And again, a beautiful night for baseball. The roof wide open, low 70s, just perfect here, late July. at Miller Park. Brewers and Pirates game 2 of this series. Let's check out the Pittsburgh batting order presented by Potawatomi. David Freese in the lineup tonight. He'll hit at the top. Gregory Polanco, Andrew McCutcheon the top 3. Starling Marte hits cleanup, followed by Jung Ho Kang, Francisco Cervelli. Bottom of the order, Josh Harrison, Jordy Mercer, and the pitcher Jameson Taillon. And that's the order that will face Chase Anderson.
Yeah, 20th start for Chase. A .540 earned run average. He's 5-10. He snapped a 4-game losing streak his last time out against the Diamondbacks here at Miller Park. 5 innings, 2 runs in a Brewers victory, making start number 5 career against Pittsburgh.
And he opens up with a strike to David Freese, and game 2 of this series is underway. Freese was not in the lineup last night. First year with the Pirates, signed a 1-year deal, and as you can see, he has given Clint Hurdle's team some very good production. Hitting better than .280 and 10 homers and the 42 RBIs. Back in the National League and liking it.
And not a guy you think of as a leadoff hitter, though. More of a run producer. He doesn't run all that well, but Clint Hurdle likes the on-base percentage. He will draw a walk. He's got a .362 on-base percentage.
Clint Hurdle's team's been playing pretty well over the last month, but last night it was Junior Guerra locking up that Pittsburgh offense. Just a gem of a performance here at Miller Park to give the Brewers their 5th win in 8 games in this homestand. Junior going 8 2/3, and Jeremy Jeffress recording the final out of the game, all part of a 3-1 Brewers victory as they continue their winning ways against the Pirates. 7 straight now the Brewers have beaten Pittsburgh at Miller Park, and that's only part of the story. They have just dominated Pittsburgh here in Milwaukee.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it? I mean, the Pirates have been pretty good, and you can't ask much more out of what Junior Guerra has given the Brewers since he's come up. Amazing the way he's been able to pitch.
And David Freese strikes out. Good beginning for Chase Anderson tonight. First out of the game is a punch out.
Well, let's check out the Menards Brewers defense. No Ryan Braun in the starting lineup. He was a late scratch. You got Flores, Broxton, and Newenheis in the outfield. Newenheis has been swinging a hot bat. Perez at third. V.R. Jeanette up the middle. Chris Carter at first base. And Martin Maldonado, might be seeing a lot of him behind home plate if, in fact, Jonathan Lucroy does get traded in the next couple of days.
Yeah, Lucroy still a Brewer as we speak, but not in the lineup. The trade talks progressing. So Maldonado gets the call behind the plate. Had a couple of starts this week, and he has been good when called upon to catch this week for the Crew.
Tough times right now mentally for Jonathan Lucroy. A lot of mixed emotions, I would imagine. Not sure when or where he's going. But according to Craig Counsell, a trade with Jonathan Lucroy is imminent.
Yeah, on the one hand, you hate the thoughts of seeing him go. Talking about Lucroy. On the other hand, he may be jumping right into a pennant race. We'll see how the story ends. But that's all part of it. And Lucroy's name gets mentioned a lot because he's a really good player and great in the community and a terrific teammate. So it is natural that in this circumstance his name would be thrown around. And speaking of thrown around, Polanco flings the bat into the camera well. Everybody all right in there?
Hey, grab it anew, and he doesn't need to. That landed in the camera well. Nick Leiva's going to fetch it. Good changeup from Anderson, and that was his big pitch last time out against Arizona. Excellent changeup he had against the Diamondbacks. Tully, all right?
Tully's looking cool. I don't know if he feels real cool right now.
I'm good. It was close, though.
Need a helmet?
I might. Or maybe he needs pine tar.
I think he took that advice.
Yeah.
2-2 pitch from Anderson, and Polanco will pop it up and out of play.
Get hazard pay down there.
Polanco 0 for 4 last night. The Pirates managed only 4 hits. And the last one was a bit of a gift, a Starling Marte liner that clipped off the second base umpire, kind of a freak play. And it was then After Craig Counsell went to the mound the first time to visit with Guerra, everybody in the house, including Junior Guerra, thought that the change would be made there. It was not. But after that last hit, the move was made to Jeremy Jeffress. But terrific performance and a shot of confidence that Counsell showing in Guerra last night and giving him that opportunity to try to finish it.
Try to finish the shutout, and you know, those opportunities afforded only really to the aces of staffs. I mean, guys have been around a while, as Chase Anderson, another punch out. David Freese, Polanco both down on strikes, and all about player development last night and giving him an opportunity.
There's Junior Guerra's work last night, at least a sample of it if you didn't get a chance to check it out. He was extremely efficient throughout the game. That one walk he gave up was in the 9th inning.
Yeah, going into the 9th inning, he had faced 2 over the minimum. That's how good he was. Gave up a couple of hits. Had a little bit of an issue in the 9th inning, a walk and a base hit. But terrific work.
Fun night at the ballpark. Here is Andrew McCutchen as he takes a curveball and fouls it off.
Now getting back to the whole, you know, you're my ace. I'm going to give you an opportunity here. You know, young guy, normally, you know, he gets in trouble late in the game. You're going to take him out. But that's not the message that Craig Counsell was sending to Junior Guerra last night. Showing a lot of confidence in him and almost able to pull it off. And I would imagine a lot of teams very interested in that guy right there.
Boy, I guess. Very few people knew about him this time last year or even at the beginning of this season. People outside of the circle of the baseball world itself. Very brief big league career before coming here to Milwaukee, and McCutchen a swing and a miss, and Chase Anderson strikes out the side here to begin the game. Going to work on David Freese for punch out number 1. Then it was Polanco and then Andrew McCutchen. Great start for Anderson. Brewers coming up. Out the side to begin the game, and now the Brewers getting their first shot at the plate here tonight, and a gorgeous night for baseball at Miller Park. Here's the Brewers batting order presented by Potawatomi. Jonathan Villar back in there, second straight night at the top of the order, followed by Scooter Gennett and Hernan Perez. Chris Carter hitting cleanup, followed by Kirk Newenheis and Martin Maldonado. Bottom of the order, Ramon Flores, Keon Broxton, and Chase Anderson. That group will face Jameson Taillon.
Yeah, made his first start on June 8th. Came up from the minor leagues. He's been very good. The Pirates have actually won 5 of his 7 starts, and that includes 4 in a row. Pitched a good game against Milwaukee. He got a no decision in Pittsburgh.
Villar had a couple of hits last night. Stole the base as he is put back into the lineup. made good on it with a couple of hits. Got things started last night. The Brewers scoring a couple of runs in the first inning against Steven Brault and the Pittsburgh Pirates. VR doubled and then scored on a Chris Carter home run. There's a curveball from Tyone.
Hey, he showed a good curveball in Pittsburgh. And one thing you know, when you go up there, you're not going to walk. This guy doesn't walk many. He hasn't walked a batter in his last 3 starts. He's only walked 5 in his first 7.
VR with a bouncing ball in the hole. There's Mercer. Not in time. Infield single for VR.
Yeah, you know the Pirates are going to take a look at that. That was pretty close over there at first base. Yep. I don't think there's enough to overturn that. Infield hit.
Mike Winters over there at first, the crew chief. And there's a play on, and right away the Brewers get a base runner. VR continues to excel at the top of the order. 90s night here at the ballpark. Forrest Gump, otherwise known as Scooter Jeanette's 90s night at the ballpark. That is a good look.
With a box of chocolates. Yep.
Scooter looking to extend what is already a career high 8-game hitting streak. Doubled last night in 3 trips. Yeah, they're having some fun with the whole 90s night theme. Great music during batting practice. And testing your musical knowledge of that decade. Covering all kinds of tunes.
Yeah. That's our era, isn't it?
It is. It is.
That's a really good likeness. Wow.
That is.
That's awesome.
Run, Forrest, run.
My Jenny.
One of the great movies.
Yes, it is.
Jeanette takes a strike. You see those unis. Brewer fans been around a little bit. Remember that look.
They keep looking for John Jaha. And Jeffrey Hammonds and Greg Vaughn. Where are they?
That's right.
That's what they were wearing.
Take you back to those county stadium days. So the Brewers have won 7 straight at home against the Pirates. 62-17 against the Buccos here over the last decade. It's amazing numbers. And Jonathan VR, the leading base stealer at 37. Tyone keeping a close eye on him.
It's amazing success against one organization, and that organization's had a number of different players, and so have the Brewers, but the success continues. Even as the Pirates have become contenders last 3 years.
Yeah, Clint Hurdle has led his team to the postseason each of the last 3 years. They are 3 behind in the wild card race now. VR running, pitch taken, and that is number 38 for Jonathan VR.
Yeah, a really big lead and a good jump. Not much that Cervelli can do about that. Cervelli threw out percentage about 30%. He just had too good a jump, and even a perfect throw I don't think is going to get him. So right away, Jonathan VR, aggressive on the bases, gets himself into scoring position.
Here's how it looks. Getting crowded up there at the top. Marte a couple behind. Billy Hamilton making a good charge. Starling Marte has been a very big time base stealing threat here for a while for the Pirates.
And Billy Hamilton's been on a stolen base binge as of late.
And the Brewers saw some of that up close out in Cincinnati right after the All-Star break. Jamison Tyone ready for the payoff pitch to Scooter Jeanette. And a Bouncing ball to Mercer. VR will hold his ground, and that's out number 1.
That's good base running that time by VR. Well, let's check out that Pirates defense. A very good defensive unit. They lead the National League in double plays. Turn a lot of twin killings. About as athletic as it gets in the outfield with Marte, McCutchen, and Polanco. You got Gung, Mercer, Harrison, and David Freese at first base, and Francisco Cervelli behind home plate. Cervelli was actually taken off the field. He couldn't leave the field under his own power late in yesterday's game, but still able to make a start here tonight. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, you were thinking broken bone maybe, but he's right back in there tonight, working with the young pitcher Jameson Taillon, and he offers up a curveball to Hernan Perez. Of course, in the game in Pittsburgh, it was the liner off the bat of Perez that struck Taillon in the back of his head. 90s night theme continues, and there's Hernan's look.
Yeah. Max Lightyear. Buzz Lightyear. Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's good 90s knowledge there.
Well, not good. I mean, I knew one of them.
Say great.
I messed up the first name.
You're half right.
It's been a while since my kids have watched that. They're in their late 20s and 30s. Buzz Lightyear, yeah.
Oh, this could be a tough night for us here.
Yeah.
A lot of on-the-spot knowledge we're going to be tested on.
Out on the limb all night.
But at least your 90s promo reads, that has come to an end.
It paid off. Look at the crowd tonight.
Oh, it's a good crowd. Good crowd and a really nice night. 2 balls, 1 strike to Perez. Check it out. It was another terrific late afternoon to do some tailgating. Had some into the 90s theme there. A good house here at Miller Park. Seeing if the Brewers can continue their success against the Pirates. And another curve from Taillon.
Yeah, he's got a good one. And not afraid to throw it. He can throw it for strikes. And then when he gets ahead 2 strikes, he's going to throw a really hard one down in the dirt. We saw that in Pittsburgh. This guy's been impressive. He's a big kid, 6'7", 230 pounds.
Yeah, they have a few of those big boys in that starting rotation, young guys. There's Perez turning on one, deep to left field, and that is gone. Hernan Perez, a 2-run homer. An early 2-0 lead for the Crew.
Well, he's putting together a heck of a year as Hernan Perez, and pitching him inside. He turns on it and knocks it out of here. Fastball in. See you later. Way back. Second deck out there and left. That's just a nice swing. Look at the balance. And he knew it as soon as he hit it. Powerball home run count number 7 for Perez, and the Brewers, just like they did last night, take a 2-0 lead early.
And last night that was courtesy of Chris Carter. A 2-run shot, and tonight it's Perez.
7th home run allowed by Taillon, and 2 of those home runs were allowed in his last start against the Phillies.
Taillon, the first-round draft pick, the 2nd overall selection back in 2010 by the Pirates. The first pick that year was Bryce Harper. Curveball is fouled away. Carter last night with that home run. It was his first since July 8th. 17 of those 23 homers have been here. So this is game number 100 for Carter at his 96th start over at first. Home runs there at 23. That is 7th in the National League. And another hook is fouled off. Let's take a look at how Carter's night began last night against young Stephen Brault. Smoked that one over the wall. And as it turned out, that was all Junior Garrett needed. Brewers added another run later in the game, but Carter's 2-run shot enough to win it, and he strikes out here, and that's out number 2.
He's got that curveball, and was able to get that fastball by Carter at 96 miles an hour up in the zone. High fastballs, the big curve, and he'll throw a changeup to lefties.
Born in Lakeland, Florida, and grew up in the Woodlands, Texas, just north of Houston. Jameson Taillon trying to find a way to keep him healthy. There's Kirk Newenheis, who's been healthy on this homestand. Talked about how good he is at Miller Park this season. On the homestand, he is 8 for 21, and that includes 4 home runs. This one might be the leader in the clubhouse now. Scooter Gennett, pretty impressive as Forrest Gump. What do you think here? Kramer. I mean, that's your favorite show.
Yeah, I mean,
Seinfeld reference, huh?
Yeah, who doesn't use Seinfeld references on a daily basis, right?
No one more than you, of people I know.
Best.
Well, I am told that our producer Brent Reeland is a Seinfeld aficionado. I'm sure our director Mark Vittorio is as well. But rumor has it that Brent is on it.
Yeah.
So.
He's got a little Costanza in him.
And away we go.
Just kidding, Brent.
Good start here for the Brewers. VR an infield single. Hernan Perez a 2-run homer. And the 1-2 to Newenheis. Two-two pitch. Talked about Taillon's control. It's been outstanding. And a full count here in what's been a pretty busy inning for Taillon. 28 pitches here so far in the first. And here comes number 29. He'll need 30. So 4 homers in the homestand for Newenheis, 2 of them last Saturday against the Cubs. Went deep in the 9th on Sunday and also homered Thursday afternoon. That gave the Crew an insurance run in their 6-4 win against the Diamondbacks, a series where the Brewers took 3 out of 4. Newenheis will strike out swinging, and that'll end the first inning. But a good start again for Milwaukee. Courtesy of Hernan Perez, who hit his 7th home run of the year, and it gives the Brewers the early lead in the middle game of this series. After 1, 2-0 Milwaukee.
with a 2-0 early lead over the Pirates, as Starling Marte will lead things off for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And following Jonathan Villar's 38 stolen base, check this out. He slides and he gets up and he will immediately look out to left field and point 2. He's pointing 2 because he now has 2 more stolen bases than his good friend Starling Marte. And if you had a chance to catch us on Brewers Live, I had a chance to talk to Jonathan Villar about his relationship with Starling Marte. They are extremely close. As a matter of fact, before this season started, they placed a little friendly wager on who would have the most steals, and that was the other reason why Jonathan Villar pointed 2, saying, I now have 2 on you, as Starling Marte has 36 stolen bases and now Villar has 38. But to extend this story between these 2 good buddies, in 2010, Villar lost his grandmother, and Marte came to live with him for a little while to kind of help him through a very difficult time. And that's when they became best friends. And Jonathan said he lost his grandmother but gained a new brother, guys.
That's a great story, Telly. And Marte certainly emerging as a star. He's an all-star this year for the first time. And speed, a big part of his game. 30+ stolen bases for 4 straight years. The last Pirate to hit those numbers for that long was Barry Bonds.
Yeah, really starting to come into the form that the Pirates thought he would. I mean, when they first gave him that big contract, he really didn't live up to it. And the Pirates a little bit concerned about the deal that they gave him. Yeah, but he has certainly turned those thoughts around, and he has become one of the best. Beats you in a lot of different ways.
Marte to right field, and that's going to fall a base hit. Newenheis over. Marte runs extremely well, and he has himself a double to begin the 2nd inning.
And just kind of a flick of the wrist out there, and he sends it down the right field line. And by the time Newenheis gets to it with his speed, he's able to get to second base. Just shortening up, just flipping it out there, and he knows he's going to be able to get a double relatively easily, even with a good throw from Newenheis.
So there's the first hit for the Pirates tonight.
I would be interesting to know what they would categorize as a friendly wager. What do you think they've got on that?
Might be a little bit outside of my
Corvette or something like that.
Exactly.
You know how these guys are.
Yeah. Something that moves quickly and is something that I can't relate to, or many of us for that matter. Here's Jung-Ho Kang. Anderson struck out the side in the first. Marte a double to lead off the second. Kang last night was hitless in 4 trips.
Made the last out of the night. Jeremy Jeffress got him to ground out to third base.
Yeah, went right after the first pitch. Jeffress getting a save for the 2nd straight game. Kang had to work his way back to health after suffering a serious knee injury in the middle of September last year. The collision out at second in a game with the Cubs. He and Chris Coughlin got tangled up. His 2nd year as a Pirate. 29 years old. Anderson with a 1-2.
Well, he's got big power. Unfortunately, he plays in a ballpark in Pittsburgh that's not very homer friendly. He's got 11 of them. RBIs not so much at 35. But he only has 219 plate appearances. He does have some power. Generates some bat speed.
Big part of his game in Korea. Curveball, strike 3 called. And 4 strikeouts for Anderson. 1 out here in the 2nd.
Yeah, that one perfect right on the outside corner. Off speed pitch, just catching the bottom of the strike zone. That's good news for Anderson getting that pitch. Marty Foster, the home plate umpire, ringing it up right at the bottom of the zone.
Yeah, I said curveball. That's change up there from Anderson to get that strikeout. First out of the inning here in the second for Pittsburgh, Francisco Cervelli. Marte, the runner at second. Figure there'll be some friendly banter with Marte and VR out there. Cervelli surprising some people that he is back in the lineup tonight. He was hurt when Scooter Gennett was hit by a pitch. It just brushed Gennett, and really taking the worst of the blow was Cervelli off the foot, the right foot.
Yeah, it looked like he got him right on the ankle bone, and he went down and didn't get up. He had to be helped off the field. But here he is, right back at it again.
An important player for the Pirates last year. Stayed injury free and helped fill the void when they lost Russell Martin to the Toronto Blue Jays. Marte is running. The pitch is taken. The throw to third is in time. Martin Maldonado. When he plays, you run with extreme risk. That's 6 of them he has thrown out of the 12 who have attempted to run on him.
Yeah, did a good job clearing the hitter, Cervelli, and threw a bullet, a strike over to Perez. Check it out. Little drop step behind Cervelli, and that's not even close. He can throw. And Marte an out at third base.
2 balls, 1 strike to Cervelli. 361 on base percentage for the Pirates catcher. They go with that .258 batting average. Last year he hit .295 for the Pirates, and only Yadier Molina of the Cardinals started more games behind the plate. Two balls, 2 strikes. Anderson versus Cervelli.
Well, not by much. And I think VR told Lucroy and Maldonado, do you throw Starling Marte out? I'm going to buy you dinner.
Possibility.
Little incentive, make a good throw.
Payoff pitch.
Fun among friends, right?
Absolutely.
Everybody wants to win out there, but why not have a good time?
A little jostling back and forth. Chase Anderson trying to get through this second inning. Marte doubled to lead off. Got caught trying to steal third. A strikeout of Jung Ho Kang. 3-2 to Cervelli. Over to Chris Carter. A little cue shot there, and the covering Chase Anderson, and that'll do it. For the Pirates in the second, Martin Maldonado getting the start behind the plate. Second best base stealer in the game, trying to run on him. Maldonado having none of it. 2-0 Brewers. Nothing. Brewers lead the Pirates. Oh, it's 90s night here, and it might also be, unbeknownst to us, Ed Cedar Appreciation Night. Check it out.
Yep, I love Ed Cedar. A cult hero here in Milwaukee. Ed Cedar. His own fan club. Well done, Eddie.
The man, the myth, the legend. See if the Brewers offense can keep him busy waving guys around. Here is Martin Maldonado leading things off. Again, if you're just joining us, been out and about on this Saturday afternoon, the trade talk accelerating.
Little Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Martin Maldonado.
All part of the 90s night theme. And Maldonado, a base hit to right.
Beating the shift. Kind of a flare out there in the right field. And the fastball. You want to attack that fastball when you get one early in the count. You don't want to have to deal with a curveball, and Maldonado does that. Ends up with a base hit to right field.
Swinging a pretty good bat in the starting lineup the last 2+ games. 4 for his last 8 in the lineup. He's in there. Jonathan Lucroy, still a Brewer again for just joining us, but not in the lineup tonight. Trade talk's picking up. So Maldi gets the call, and so far so good. He's thrown out Charlie Marte, and he has a base hit to right. Now Ramon Flores will step in. He's inserted Ryan Braun, a late scratch. Ronnie was in the original starting lineup tonight, but that right side tightness continuing to give him some trouble, so Flores gets the call out and left. Brewers trying to get to Jamison Tyone here. They did in the first, and Hernan Perez 2-run homer. Tyone, the 2nd overall pick in 2010. The Pirates just trying to keep this guy healthy.
Yeah.
Tommy John surgery. He missed all of 2014. This last year because of a sports hernia. Flores a little chopper, and Tyone no play at second. There he's out number 1.
And he pitched a dandy back in Pittsburgh against Milwaukee. 6 innings, only 1 run, no walks, 3 punchouts in a 3-2 Pirate victory. He's a good one. He's got good stuff, as you mentioned. Just a matter of his ability to stay out on the mound and not be on the disabled list.
Here's Keon Broxton. Good night last night, and a good last couple of games here, and once again in the starting lineup this evening, the center fielder. Against his former club last night, he drove in a run, had a hit and a walk. He's playing pretty well, and this is 4th stint now with the Brewers up from Colorado Springs.
I think some of the adjustments that he and Darnell Cole's been working on have paid off, not just in the minor leagues, but he looks like he's a little bit more comfortable at the plate, a little quicker to the baseball. He's dropped his hands a little bit. You can notice as he holds the bat, he's holding a lot lower. He does bring it back, brings it up a little bit, but I think it's a more comfortable position for him.
Bouncing ball to Jung Ho Kang. 2 men out.
Yeah, less movement with the hands and more direct to the baseball, quicker on that inside part of the plate.
Here's Chase Anderson. Anderson already with 4 strikeouts through the first 2 innings. He struck out the side in inning number 1. That 1 RBI came the last time he saw the Pirates 10 days ago in Pittsburgh. He had a no decision in that game at Pittsburgh on the 20th. 5-10 record for Anderson. This is his 20th start of the year. And he's behind 0-2. Series wrap up tomorrow afternoon, and then the Brewers head west Open up the series on Monday in San Diego. Road swing to San Diego and to Arizona. Craig Counsell's team has played well here in this homestand, 5-3 so far. Anderson a swing and a miss. Cervelli will have to complete it, and he does. And that'll do it for the Brewers. A leadoff single from Maldonado, but that was it. And we are through 2 at Miller Park. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Hupy and Abraham. 1-800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business.
Hey, reminder that tomorrow is Jimmy Nelson bobblehead day at the ballpark. All fans in attendance. As the crew wraps up the series with the Pirates, we'll get a Jimmy Nelson bobblehead courtesy of Associated Bank. Plus, it's also another Kids Eat Free Sunday. Go to Brewers.com for tickets.
Nice looking bobblehead. That's what it looks like right here. Check it out.
Coming at you with a big hard fastball.
That's right. And then when you're looking fastball,
knuckle curve.
Here it comes. Yep. It's a good look. Look forward to that. Another bobblehead. Another great reason to come to the ballpark. Check out the Brewers and the Pirates. We'll see if the crew can be going for the sweep. A long way to go here, but a good start for Milwaukee. A 2-0 lead as Josh Harrison will lead things off for the Pirates. Anderson with 4 strikeouts through the first 2 innings. I mentioned Junior Guerra's night last night. Anderson had a game where he went 8 2/3. That was in the middle of May here in Milwaukee against the Cubs. And Derek Johnson talking with Telly Hughes before the game, just trying to get a little more efficiency if they can from Anderson. Pitch count gets high early in games, and that's what has prevented Anderson, at least in some cases, from pushing through past the 4th or 5th inning. And last game against Arizona, 5 innings worked. He had the winning decision, but 93 pitches were needed.
Yeah, he had a good changeup, curveball not bad, but here tonight he's really locating well his fastball.
And Harrison squeezes one through the infield into center for a base hit. And for the second straight inning, the Pirates get their leadoff man on.
Yeah, they had Harrison played in the hole. He had a lot of room up the middle, and that's exactly where he put it. Another well-located fastball for Chase Anderson, but ends up into center field. He's kind of waving at it, putting the bat on it up the middle out of the reach of VR because he was playing over in the hole. No chance.
Hit number 2 for the Pirates, and now Jordy Mercer, who had one of the 4 Pittsburgh hits last night, is been pretty good recently here against the Brewers. 8 for his last 19 as he looks at a curveball for strike one. .361 on base percentage for Mercer. Go with that batting average you see. 6 homers. He has driven in 36. Harrison a threat. He's 14 for 15 in stolen base tries. It's more than just VR and Marte. There are some other stolen base threats on both sides here in this series.
Yeah. And you have Martin Maldonado neutralizes a lot of that. Your average base runners, the guys that aren't the big base stealing threats, those are the guys really aren't going to go when you have Maldonado and Lucroy behind home plate. Now Harrison is a guy that can run. He can steal a base.
Maldonado caught Marte trying to steal third in the second inning. Harrison, another one of those players that always has a smile on his face.
Always has something to say to somebody.
He does. One pitch out in front.
Oh, speed pitch is really good. I mean, all 3 of his pitches so far tonight have been very good. There's that changeup. And he really started to get a good feel for that last time out. It was a really good pitch against the Diamondbacks.
Anderson up, a ball, 2 strikes. Missed away with a fastball. Certainly has had outings where he has been terrific. Mentioned that game against the Cubs. Game in June against the A's, 6 2/3, a 2-hit shutout ball. A roller coaster it's been, but has been good at times. Bluffing to run is Harrison. The pitch is punched into right field for Newenheis, and that's out number 1.
They had him played perfectly shallow and over toward the line. Barely had to move.
Oh, 1 out here in the inning. Time for the Cardsuit.com trivia question. How many seasons did the Brewers wear the uniforms they have on tonight? 90s night here at the Yard. Well, how many seasons did they wear these threads?
What do you think?
Good look. I like it.
No.
You're asking me what for the answer as you look into the media guide right now
I'm
and
going
try
to
to cheat?
it wasn't very long, I don't think.
I thought you were asking my opinion of the uniforms.
I
liked it. I liked it. I would not have scissors in hand if I was wearing them tonight. Put it that way.
Chris Sale, yeah, okay. That's good.
Jamison Tyone. Trying to move Harrison up, but a foul ball.
Of all the uniforms the Brewers have worn, this would be my least favorite.
I like the Retro Friday. I'm a big fan of that. But what I like about this, it's clean. Now, we just saw the Arizona Diamondbacks, so I have kind of, with all due respect to their unis, kind of thumbs down. This is clean. The Friday unis are good. Tyone trying to bunt again and unsuccessful again.
Yeah, ball and glove logo. I think everybody would agree that that's the best uniform. The one they wear now is very good. 1970 to 77, the Barrelman logo. As I read out of the media guide. I'm not going to give away the answer, though.
Wasn't it off the top of your head? Okay.
No.
There it is, ball and glove. That's the look. Harrison led off this inning with a single to center. Jordy Mercer, a liner to right. Pitcher Jameson Taillon at the plate. And that is strike 3 call. Curveball gets Taillon. That's out number 2.
Yeah, he's got a good one of those too tonight. You see that curveball, good rotation, that 6 to 12 rotation going straight down, catching plenty of the plate.
5 strikeouts already for Chase Anderson. Top of the order, David Freese. He struck out to begin the game. Blocked by Maldonado.
Season high for Chase Anderson in strikeouts is 6. Already with 5.
Yeah, he's had that multiple times, most recently on the 2nd of June against the Phillies in Philadelphia. It was a winning effort for Anderson. A 4-1 Brewers victory. Freeze, a swing and a miss. Fifth career start for Anderson against the Pirates. And a little soft liner, and Jeanette is right there, and that'll do it for Pittsburgh. So leadoff man reaches, but that was it. It's 2-0. VR will start the bottom of the 3rd for the Crew. Of the 3rd we go. Big crowd here at Miller Park tonight. Hey, for the first time ever, the Baseball Hall of Fame is on tour, featuring an IMAX History of Baseball movie, plus an entire virtual reality gallery that puts you in the game at Miller Park through tomorrow. Tickets available at halloffametour.com. Hurry up, get over here and check it out. Terrific exhibit. 90s night. Fresh Prince, Jonathan VR leading things off. Our infield single in the 1st. A ground ball to Mercer here to begin the 3rd. Out number 1. Well, we've been talking about trade conversations accelerating in terms of the Brewers and Jonathan Lucroy. There's a transaction that could affect this series that has been made, and it involves the Pirates. Earlier today, the Pirates sent their closer Mark Melanson to the Washington Nationals. A couple of left-handers sent to the Pirates, Felipe Rivero, and a minor leaguer, Taylor Hearn, both hard throwers. But Melanson, another terrific year, and the Nats were in need of a closer. Jonathan Papelbon has been struggling more than a little bit. Melanson in the final year of his contract, so that's the move. And you see the 30 saves. Rivero, very hard thrower. They say he can touch 100. And Hearn can as well. He's a minor leaguer, and they would have a lot of control with Rivero as opposed to Melanson, who's nearing the end of his deal.
Yeah, the Pirates really didn't have any interest in trying to re-sign Melanson. He's probably going to command a lot of money. They have a couple of guys in their bullpen now that could close. Apparently, it's going to be Tony Watson that's going to take over the closing chores for the Pirates. He's got a great arm, a left-hander, and they have Neftali Feliz, who has closer experience, a right-hander.
Yeah, so from the Pittsburgh perspective, it's not a waving of the white flag. Clint Hurdle's team just 3 outs in the wild card race as Jeanette sends a fly ball over toward Polanco, and there are 2 up, 2 down in the 3rd.
Notice Clint Hurdle not chewing gum.
Yeah, I noticed that last night.
Last couple of nights. I mean, he is known for chewing about 4 or 5 pieces of gum at the same time.
Oh,
just
yeah.
Chomping away. But last 2 nights, nothing going on.
One of the prolific gum chewers in baseball. And without.
But that's his thing.
Absolutely. I was noticing that last night. I forgot to mention that. When you think Clint Hurdle, think of that, how hard he works that gum.
Yeah.
Not so far this series. Breaking news here at Miller Park. Hernan Perez, 2-run homer in the 1st, and he will smack this into the shift. That is Josh Harrison, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Jameson Taillon, and we are through 3. Brewers up 2-0.
Pirates as we move to the top of the 4th inning. Time now for our greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. We'll start off with the Washington Nationals, who turned the rare, first ever, as a matter of fact, 3-3-5 triple play in Major League history last night against, it was the 5th triple play of the Major League Baseball season. San Diego has completed a trade with the Atlanta Braves, sending Matt Kemp to Atlanta, but of course, this is all pending physicals. The Padres would get a minor leaguer in return, and the Toronto Blue Jays used a 7-run 5th inning to lead to a 9-1 win, and this is the first time the Blue Jays are in first place since April 4th. Matt?
All right, Telly, whole lot going on. The trade's accelerating, and the trade talk accelerating as Gregory Polanco leads things off and hacking away, and a pop-up to shallow left. It'll be VR for out number 1. But yet, with all the trade talk, there's still fun stuff going on in the actual games with the triple play last night,
right,
involving the Nationals. This is how it looked. That's the San Francisco Giants. It's Ryan Zimmerman over there, and easy money.
Not sure what's going on. The runner at third base. Check it out. I mean, Zimmerman can barely throw the baseball. Look at his throw, and that's about as easy as it gets. The first ever in Major League history.
How about that?
So you can't really say you've seen everything.
Although maybe now you can.
Maybe now.
Was that the last? That was the last thing we had not seen in baseball?
I don't know.
Probably not. McCutchen struck out in the first. Anderson struck out the side in the first inning. It's the beauty of it, right? You see the first 3-3-5 triple play. You never know. No reason to come to the ballpark. Brewers, of course, turned to triple play against the Marlins early in the season, and around the horn triple play. And McCutchen, a foul ball coming our way. Getting ready to duck. Two balls, two strikes to McCutchen. Not an all-star this season. He has been a regular 5 straights until this year. Offensive numbers are down by his very high standards. And a hot shot that gets through Hernan Perez, and McCutchen is on.
Yeah, that ball hit hard. Off-speed pitch, and McCutchen this time able to wait back. Hit a bullet right through the third baseman Perez. He's got some quick hands, does Andrew McCutchen. I think it was a changeup, went right through Perez. Not sure whether they're going to score it. That was a tough play.
And that got to him in a hurry. You just figure, you mentioned McCutchen having the un-McCutchen-like year offensively, but there's still a fair amount of year left. He's one of those guys who could really heat up down the stretch for this Pirates team. Here is Starling Marte, and that will be ruled an error.
That's a tough error. That was one of those in-between hops. He wasn't sure how to handle it. He stayed in front of it. Just sometimes you throw your glove up there, you put your body in front of it, and you hope you get lucky. Sometimes you just don't have time to react or make adjustments based on a bounce when they're hit that hard.
Quick trip to the mound. Martin Maldonado with a visit. Chase Anderson. Perez did a good job in the game's final at bat last night. Ground ball well wide of the bag at third. Able to step in front of VR. Bobbled it for an instant, but recovered.
He did that a couple of times in that 9th inning, making nice plays.
2 balls, no strikes to Marte. And that'll be foul over at third. Marte has been good all season and been very good here of late. 15 for his last 37. That's a 405 clip. He doubled in the second inning, was caught trying to steal third. Maldonado cut him down. McCutchen, the runner at first, with 1 out.
You see that all those off-speed pitches making that fastball a lot more effective. And he's had good location on it too. Inside corner, outside corner. He just tied up Marte pretty well on that fastball. Only 91 miles an hour.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And full count now to the Pirates left fielder. Had 2 of the 4 hits for Pittsburgh last night. And is one of the 2 so far this evening. Blanco began the inning with a pop up to short. McCutchen reached on an error. And the runner's going, and it is ball 4. So the Pirates have runners at first and second with 1 out in the 4th.
Their first walk issued by Chase Anderson. He's been really pounding the strike zone, getting ahead in the count. The second time through, always a challenge. I mean, the Pirates, of course, have seen him this year. But today, Chase has got all of his pitches working for him. See what kind of adjustments the Pirates make. Maybe go up there this time looking off speed.
Here's Jung-Ho Kang. Took a called third strike in the second inning. 1 of 5 strikeouts so far for Anderson. Pirates have a little threat going now. We'll see if the Brewers starter can settle a bit. As Rock mentioned, they've seen him, and the Pirates saw Anderson just 10 days ago. One-0 pitch.
I think they are looking off speed. I mean, that pitch very hittable for Kang, a fastball, and he took it. Maybe looking to change up, curveball.
1-1 pitch. It was interesting last night as the game was moving along. The Pirates were swinging early. They didn't want to deal with the off speed of Junior Guerra. They were trying to attack Junior early. Now you have Jung-Ho Kang as Pirates line up trying to work deeper into the count. And Kang is in a good spot now. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Having a difficult time getting ahead now. And missed with a changeup. He threw a 2-seamer the pitch before that. That's what Chase has to do. I mean, he's got to have perfect location, mix all of his pitches up very well. Doesn't have the kind of stuff that he can get by with, you know, just 2, maybe 2 or 3 pitches.
Bouncing ball just foul at third. Full count to Kang. 11 homers. He has driven in 35. You mentioned that second time through for Chase. First time through this season, opponents hit 259 against him. Second time that average jumps to 321 with an OBP of 409. So now with a 3-2 count, let's see what he offers up to the Pirates' third baseman.
Yeah, thinking with a good speed on the bases that the Pirates might be stealing on the 3-2 pitch or taking off.
Cutchin out at second. Marte at first. Big pitch coming up here for Chase Anderson. Line drive to left and a base hit. Flores charging. McCutchen being waved around. The throw cut off by Perez, and now Marte is hung up. The flip to Jeanette. And now VR will go ahead, and Marte's just going to wave the white flag.
Yeah, somebody's got to do something here.
Kang motored around to second, and the tag finally applied, and out number 2, but a run is in.
That was a good job by Flores. Hit the cutoff man. I mean, if he tried to airmail that all the way into home plate, and that's what Marte was counting on. That's why he kept going. 2-seam fastball in a full count, and Kang able to get enough of it, dump it into left field, and right here you hit the cutoff man. You're able to get an out. Marte staying in the rundown long enough to get Kang to second base, so he did a good job in that regard.
7 to 5 to 4 to 6. On the put out of Marte. Here is Francisco Cervelli. Well, Pirates get their first run of the game as McCutchen scores. Jung-Ho Kang is at second. Cervelli grounded out to Chris Carter. His first trip. Cervelli has driven in 23 runs this season. Anderson has given up his first run of the night here in the fourth. '73rd pitch of the game coming up for Chase. And Maldonado down to second, and that went off of Kang. It hit his leg.
Yeah, hit his leg, and he's having a tough time. Hit him. Look, it got him right on the bone. Side of the shin.
Kang was straying far off second. Maldonado took a shot.
And Maldi loves to throw the baseball. It's a good throw. Gets him right in the leg. Carries over to Carter. Yeah, hit the leg, then the base, and then rolls over to Chris Carter at first.
Feel that for a while.
Yeah. Well, that throw from Maldonado didn't get too very high off the ground, did it?
No,
it
didn't.
Laser beam down to second base.
It was a very good fastball. Caught Marte trying to steal third in the second inning, which is the 9th time, by the way, Marte has been caught trying to steal this year. And there you see what Maldonado has done. 50-50.
That's pretty good, to say the least. And depending on what happens to Jonathan Lucroy, whether he gets traded or not, we've seen a lot of Martin Maldonado going forward.
It's the 23rd start this year for Maldonado. Anderson behind now, 3 balls, no strikes. And Maldi's just going, actually, excuse me, ball 4, and Maldi's going to walk it out there for Anderson as Cervelli is on. Runners at first and second.
There's only been one hit, a couple of walks, an error. That was a questionable error. That was charged to Hernan Perez and that bullet by McCutchen, but the only hit was that it was a jam shot into left field by Kang. Having control problems in this inning.
Pitching coach Derek Johnson.
Well, as good as he was in the first 3 innings, second time through has been a little bit more challenging for Anderson. I think the Pirates, as we've talked about this inning, going up there looking off speed.
And you see that pitch count starting to climb. A busy 4th inning here for Chase. Now Josh Harrison will step in. Harrison single to lead off the 3rd. The Pirates did nothing with it as Anderson retired Mercer, Tyone, and David Freese. Pirates with a run across here in the 4th. And runners at first and second. Jung-Ho Kang at second. Cervelli the runner at first. So we were mentioning, and that's get through the second time, then business picks up in a good way for Anderson. But that second time through, is a problem.
Third time through, normally when he's really good and able to extend himself through the game. No surprise, 3rd, 4th time through that your numbers are going to be pretty good. It's that second time through, the big challenge for every pitcher. Facing a hitter who has fared well against the Brewers.
Better than 360 over his last 11 games against Milwaukee. And there's a base hit for Harrison out to right. Here comes Gung, rounding third, heading for home. The throw from Newenheis, and Gung is out at home. Maldonado stays with it and applies the tag to Jung-Ho Kang.
Pirates might want to take a look at it. Clint Hurdle came out of the dugout. I think Gung missed the plate and Maldonado missed Gung. But he got him the second time. Let's check it out. Does he touch the plate here? No, he does not. No tag made. Now let's see. Yep, he gets him.
Out at home, Newenheis to Maldonado. Pirates score a run. Brewers keep the lead. With the Pirates to the bottom of the fourth we go. Pittsburgh scoring a run in the top half, but was stopped trying to tie the game. It's our AT&T high-speed replay as Jung-Ho Kang trying to score on the single, and Kirk Newenheis to throw to Maldonado, who stayed with it as Kang missed the plate. Maldonado missed the tag at first, but Maldi was able to apply it, and the inning was over. In a one-run inning it was for Pittsburgh.
And I think if they had to do over again, they wouldn't have sent Kang. I mean, because he was pretty much of an easy out over there at home plate. Third base coach Rick Sofield.
Chris Carter, a ground ball into the shift, and that's Josh Harrison making the play for out number one.
Actually, Sofield started to wave him around, then he gave the stop sign, but it was too late. Kang, too late to stop. He kept going and ended up being an out. Maybe had Maldonado not hit him in the leg, he might have been able to score.
That's right.
Slowed him down just enough.
That's right. Got smacked in the leg on a throw down to second from Maldonado. Kang was straying off the bag. Maldi took a shot. Maybe that was the difference. Kirk Newenheis able to throw out Kang. Pirates a team that, much like the Brewers, will make defensive adjustments. Big shift here for Newenheis. Hurdle's Pirates. Through the years, they have been up there in the number of shifts. Through the years that the shifts have become a thing in baseball. Eight for 22 on the homestand for Newenheis. And Newenheis laying one down away from it. Tyone not in time. Oh, shift to the right. Lays one down to the left. And Newenheis is on.
Yeah, why not, right? Just drop it down. He wanted to bunt a little bit harder. It kind of deadens it too much, but the 6'7" pitcher taking a while to straighten himself up and get the throw off. Sometimes when you're that tall, it makes those plays a little bit more difficult, and Newenheis beats it easily.
Every now and then you see a hitter do that. Not often, but now and then. If they're going to swing the defense one way, try to push it the other, and it worked well enough for Newenheis. Here is Martin Maldonado. Big cut from the Brewers catcher. Singled in the second. Now 4 for his last 8. Starting lineup for the Brewers. And he's driven in 4 in that stretch. And Newenheis is running, and Maldonado a foul ball.
Had a pretty good jump too. And Maldonado had a good pitch to hit.
No balls, 2 strikes. Maldonado had a big blow in that series against the Diamondbacks. A home run in that game to help break it open. 0-2 pitch. It's against Braden Shipley, the Diamondbacks 5 days ago. Putting together a nice homestand for himself is Martin Maldonado. Taillon ready with a 1-2. And Maldonado goes down swinging, and there are 2 men out here in the 4th.
Hey, tomorrow's another Kids Eat Free Sunday at Miller Park. All kids 14 and under at tomorrow afternoon's series finale against these Pirates will get a free lunch. That includes a hot dog, bottled water, apple slices, and an ice cream treat. That's all courtesy of Pick and Save, Blue Bunny, and Heinz. Yep, they qualify. That's a good deal, huh?
You can't beat it. That good little soda going. That's a good night and a good day at the ballpark. Ramon Flores down back of the pitcher. His first trip in the 2nd inning. Strike to Flores in there in left field tonight. Ryan Braun a late scratch with the right side tightness still an issue. Taillon with the 0-1 and a bouncing ball right to David Freese, and that'll do it for the Brewers in the 4th. We are through 4. Brewers up 2-1.
lead over the Pirates as we move to the top of the 5th inning. Time to check in with the crew in the community. Join Brewers pitcher Matt Garza and his teammates for the Brewers Bowl-a-thon on Sunday, August 14th. Enjoy a silent auction and bowling with Brewers players while raising money for Meta House, which offers substance abuse treatment services to help women reclaim their lives from the effects of drugs or alcohol. Sign up today at brewers.com/bowling.
All right, Telly, thanks much. Jordy Mercer leading off the 5th for the Pirates. 8-9-1 in the Pittsburgh order. Mercer, Tyone, and Freeze. Chase Anderson giving up his first run of the night in the 4th inning. See how deep he can go.
Yeah, Pirates helping him out, making 2 outs on the bases in that 4th inning.
That's right. Marte hung up between 2nd and 3rd on a throw that was cut off. Third Hurdle's team getting 1, but he's no doubt thinking should have had more out of the inning. And then on a Josh Harrison single, Jung Ho Gung was cut down at home.
Running through a very late stop sign was Gung.
Rick Sofield.
Yeah, the third base coach tried to hold him up, but he kept going.
Three-two pitch. Mercer, a foul ball. Eight for his last 20 now, Mercer, against the Brewers. 5 RBIs in that stretch. Putting together a good solid year at the plate. 6 homers, 36 RBIs, 282 average. And a 360 on base percentage.
Turned himself into a pretty good hitter. He's always been very good at shortstop. One of the slick fielders in the National League. He's got a terrific throwing arm. I guess they all do, but very steady over at shortstop.
He's up there in among the best in fielding percentage among shortstops, has been the last couple of years. There's another strikeout for Chase Anderson, his 6th of the night. Out number 1 here in the 5th.
And again, must have been looking for something else, because this fastball catches plenty of the plate, a little bit above the knees, and once again Marty Foster rings it up. Maldonado holding it there nicely.
Now it's Anderson against his counterpart Jameson Taillon. Taillon has settled. He gave up the 2-run homer in the first to Hernan Perez. 24-year-old. Big kid, 6'4", 240. Big man, I should say. 6'4", 6'5", rather, 240. Pirates have some big younger pitchers in their rotation. They're just trying to get them all healthy together. Tyler Glasnow on the disabled list, a little shoulder trouble. He's 6'8". Of course, Garrett Cole, a complete game effort did Cole, the first of his career in the win against the Mariners earlier this week. 6'4", 230. They have some big dudes in that rotation. Now the question is, can they stay healthy? That's been a big issue with Jameson Taillon. 1-2 pitch.
And a lot of their starters, because of lack of effectiveness, are now in the bullpen. Brewers have been fortunate not to have to deal with that guy last couple of series.
Yeah, Cole.
They've missed him.
Taillon to right field, and Newenheis will have to lay up, and he'll still throw him out. Got him! Playing shallow, and Newenheis able to get the throw to Carter in time.
Well, Chris Carter almost didn't think about getting back to the bag. He did just at the last second, and Drew was able to get Taillon. They don't see this every day. Look how shallow Newenheis is. He's thinking about that throw right away. Carter gets back, and they beat him by half a step. See, that's not allowed in fantasy camp. So he stopped running and ended up getting thrown out. Never stop running, kids.
There's your lesson. There's David Freese.
Just your everyday 9-3 put out.
Yeah, another 9 at the yard.
So have you ever seen that before?
I have. Been a while. It's not your 3-3-5 triple play, but
right, but it's unusual.
It is. One 0 to Freese. One more look.
Man, he's cooking down that line. And all of a sudden he slows down, and they get him. So Kirk Newenheis helping Chase Anderson out quite a bit here tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure the teammates are going to be having some fun at his expense for that, huh? 1-1 pitch now to Freese.
That is certainly a kangaroo court case right there. That's going to cost them. A throw out at home plate and a throw out at first base for Newenheis.
Turned in some good work out there. As he usually does. It was just so out of the ordinary on Wednesday night defensively, the struggles this team had, and Newenheis in particular. But that wasn't him tonight. That's what he can do. Freese is swing and a miss. And that'll do it for the Pirates in the 5th. They're out in order, not the most usual way, but they were retired in order. We move to the bottom of the 5th. Little activity during the commercial break as David Freese struck out to win the top of the 5th. He was barking not about the end of the at bat, but the next to last pitch of the at bat.
Didn't like that one. Not often you get thrown out on strike 2 after you swing and miss for strike 3, and David Freese coming out. Marty Foster threw him out of the ball game, so he's done.
The ejection, he says his piece, and now he exits, and John Jaso is in for the Pirates at first. So yeah, a few things going on here at the park tonight. Had the routine ground out 9-3. Jamison Tyone dropped a single to right. Newenheis, well, he thought it was a single, but Newenheis was able to throw out Tyone. And then Freese strikes out. Marks about a call, and his night's over.
I understand strike 3, right? But strike 2, after you stay in the box, you didn't really say a whole lot about that call, and ended up swinging and missing for strike 3, then gets thrown out.
A little delayed reaction. Here's Keon Broxton. Broxton, Anderson, and VR. The bottom of the 5th. Keon going after the first pitch, and a very high fly ball. Shallow, very shallow left center. It'll be a shortstop, Jordy Mercer, handling it for the first out. Here's Anderson. There's a lot of pitches to get through the 4th. Ended up being a clean inning in the 5th. Couple of strikeouts for him along the way. Two to 1 ball game in the 5th. Brewers getting their runs in the 1st on an Hernan Perez homer. The Pirates scoring in the 4th. Anderson with 7 strikeouts tonight. Season high for him. Here's the 2-1. Getting into a good pitching matchup here.
I like this right-hander here. He's got good stuff. That high fastball, big curveball. Reminds you a lot of the great curveball pitchers, down the line. Bert Blyleven used the high fastball, the big curveball. Don Sutton did the same thing, and they had some success with it. Comes out of the hand, basically the same plane, and the hitter has a more difficult time picking it up as opposed to low fastballs and curveball. A little bit easier to pick up.
I believe you said Blyleven had, of all the pitchers you've seen, maybe as good a curveball as any.
Without a doubt. Captain Hook, he had a good one.
2-2, broken bat, slow roller, Jung Ho Gong for the out. 2 away in the 5th. Taillon has gotten through the first 2 here in the 5th. Back to the top of the order. Check out that Carsoup.com trivia question. How many seasons do the Brewers wear the uniforms they have on tonight as we celebrate 90s night at the ballpark? 6.
Not many.
No.
Guys like Jeff Cirillo, Jose Valentin, and David Nilsson.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That's how the look has changed through the years. Logos through the years. Of course, the old Seattle Pilots. Before the Brewers were born, 1970. That was the look we saw here from 94 through 99.
Yeah, Brewers celebrated their 25th anniversary in Milwaukee. They introduced a new look.
Jonathan VR at the plate. Infield single in the 1st and stole his 38th base of the year. He grounded to short in the 3rd.
The logo resembled an industrial stamp. That's paying homage to Milwaukee's industrial history. There you go.
Good knowledge, man.
Courtesy of the Brewers media guide, folks.
Good knowledge. We are a strikeout victim, and we are through 5. We'll read the next chapter of the media guide right after this. Pirates as we are through 5 here at Miller Park tonight. Some defense here for the Brew Crew, and it starts with Martin Maldonado as he catches Starling Marte trying to steal third. That's the 6th that Maldonado has thrown out in 12 attempts. And then watch Kurt Newenheis go to work. Jung Ho Dong trying to score on this single. Maldonado stays with it and applies the tag, and that helps the Brewers keep a 1-run lead. And then Jameson Taillon thought he had a single. Kurt Newenheis said, 9-3 on the putout.
Yeah. Well, so the night is over for Chase Anderson, although he did get the hit, and I think that's because the Brewers bench very short. Ryan Braun banged up. They don't want to use Lucroy because of the potential trade. So really 2 guys on the bench for Craig Counsell. So he sends his pitcher up there, but Carlos Torres continues here in the 6th inning.
And he continues to put together a very nice year for this Brewers team as you see those numbers. Chase Anderson with the 5 innings, 95 pitches. And now Torres will face 2, 3, and 4 in the Pirates order, beginning with Gregory Polanco. Polanco looking for his first hit in the series. Good offensive year going. 13 homers, 54 RBIs. Brewers trying to extend this home winning streak against the Pirates to 8 games. Going back to last year, this is the first visit. This series is the Pirates' first visit to Milwaukee this year. Be here again at the end of August and the 3rd week of September, but unusual bit of scheduling. The Brewers had a mid-April trip to Pittsburgh to face Glenn Hurdle's team. And we're there last week, but post All-Star break, that's when the Pirates first visit Miller Park this year. 3-0 pitch to Polanco, and he's swinging away, and he pops this one up. Perez says he has it, and he does for out number 1. He's a part of this winning streak here for the Brewers. It's amazing what happens when you put runs on the board. They are hitting and they were bringing them around, and they're also pitching well. Check out that ERA.
It's just hard to figure. I mean, the success that the Brewers have had, here at Miller Park as opposed to on the road. And the Brewers have hung in there pretty well. When you talk about a team 11 games under 500 at this point in the season, and have done some pretty good work here at Miller Park.
Pirates still in the thick of the fight, playoff chase as Andrew McCutchen steps in. Pittsburgh 3 games better than 500 coming in, 52-49. Trail the Cubs by 9.5 games coming in, but only 3 down in the wild card race. Here's how it looks. Cardinals slipping into that second wild card spot last night with a win against the Marlins down in Miami.
I just wonder what that trade of Mark Melancon is going to do to the continuity of that Pirates bullpen. I mean, when you trade your closer away, that's a big hole to fill. Everybody else has to move up a slot. Tony Watson right now, the left-hander, is going to be the closer, and that could send a ripple effect through that pen. You don't know. But that bullpen's been pretty good for the Pirates.
That's been terrific. The starting pitching has been another story. Injuries and effectiveness. The bullpen has been good.
5th best earned run average as a bullpen in the National League. So they've done their part.
Washington Nationals now welcome Melancon to their organization as McCutchen will lift a fly ball to right. Newenheis 2 outs. Important to keep in mind too as the activity picks up to the trade deadline. It is Monday afternoon at 3 o'clock Central. Entering now the final couple of days and business picking up. You figure there will be a flurry of activity now in the remaining time between where we are right now and Monday afternoon at 3.
And not to say you can't make trades after that, you can, but it becomes much more difficult. Players have to clear waivers, which makes it very difficult, but possible.
Starling Marte, a double and a walk here so far tonight.
The guys that clear waivers are normally the guys with the huge contracts, you know, that teams are looking to deal.
I think now, especially with the, in terms of the non-waiver deadline, with the 2 wild card teams, you have a lot of organizations that are still, okay, are we a seller, are we a buyer, do we sit, how far out are you, how many teams do you have to jump in the playoff chase? A lot to think about. In the case of the Pirates with Melanson, he is in the final year of his contract, so they figured they weren't going to re-sign him, so they went ahead and made the move. And Glenn Hurdle has certainly a couple of options to close, but Melanson, one of the best, and the Washington Nationals have picked him up. 2-2 pitch coming. And the count is full to Marte.
Yeah, Pirates get another left-handed reliever. They've already got 3 in their bullpen.
And some hard throwers coming over from the Nationals organization. Payoff pitch to Marte, and we'll do it again. First time All-Star for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He's having a good series. He is 3 for 5 so far. 2-hit night last night. Hung up on the bases a couple of times though this evening. Caught stealing, trying to steal third in the 2nd inning, and then was hung up between 2nd and 3rd when a throw was cut off, though the plate cut off by Hernan Perez, turned into a 7-5 to 4-6 put out at Marte.
And the Pirates have already made a full inning's worth of outs on the bases, and we're only in the 6th inning.
They have. They helped Chase Anderson a little bit. 8th pitch of the at bat, and a liner, a 1-hop, knocked down by VR, but he'll have no chance to get Marte.
And that was a rope. Top spin, tricky hop. He knocked it down, but no chance to get him.
Infield single for Marte.
Kept pounding the strike zone slider, and almost a terrific play by VR, just not able to keep it in the glove. He found the glove with it, but no chance to get him.
Another multi-hit game for Starling Marte. That's his 37th. Daniel Murphy is the only one with more. He has 41. You have Gene Segura in that mix. We saw him with the Diamondbacks this week. There's Jung Ho Gung. The RBI single, but he was also thrown out at the plate to win the 4th inning. Newenheis and Maldonado, that combo erased Gung and preserved this 1-run lead that the Brewers trying to protect here in the 6th. Polanco a pop up, McCutchen a fly ball to right. Marte an infield single. 37 stolen bases for Marte coming in. 2 behind the leader, Jonathan VR. 0-2 pitch.
That cut fastball for Carlos Torres has been his money pitch all season. Doesn't make too many mistakes with that pitch.
Here comes the 1-2.
There it is again.
Torres on in relief of Chase Anderson, who went the first 5.
In honor of 90s night, we have the wave going.
Of course we do. Of course we do. It was so popular that carried beyond the 90s. Don't see it so much anymore.
No.
But back tonight. Two-two pitch. And that is strike three. Carlos Torres gives up an infield single, but that's it. It is 90s night at the ballpark. Forrest Gump will lead things off. Buzz Lightyear. And then, help me out, guys, Chris Carter in the bottom of the sixth. Brewers lead the Pirates 2-1. I need help.
Park Brewers with a 1-run lead, and MLB TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Scooter Gennett will lead things off here for the Brewers, trying to extend this hitting streak he has going. Career best 8 straight he has hit safely in. Ground ball to short and a fly ball to right for Gennett so far tonight. As Jameson Taillon stays in there for the Pirates. He gave up a 2-run homer to Hernan Perez, but that has been it so far for Taillon. 24-year-old making his 8th start. Mentioned he grew up in the Woodlands, Texas, outside of Houston, but his parents are Canadian. So Taillon pitched for Canada 3 years ago in the World Baseball Classic. Second overall pick in the 2010 draft, right behind Bryce Harper. Manny Machado was number 3 that year. Chris Sale, 13th overall pick. Impressive bunch there in that 2010 draft. At the swing and a foul that went off the home plate umpire, Marty Foster. He's good to go. Ball, 2 strikes to Scooter Gennett. Fouls that off, trying to check the swing. Gennett doubled last night to extend that hitting streak. pretty good run, but the Pirates have been a mystery for him so far this season. He is 2 for 26 against the Pirates so far this year.
They're trying to figure out what the count is. Scooter asked, now Cervelli wondering.
1-2.
Now it's 2-2.
There it is. That'll even the count. The scoreboard here is showing 3-2, but the home plate umpire is signaling 2-2.
2-2.
Trust your screen. 2-2. Jeanette, Perez, and Carter in inning number 6 here for Milwaukee. And again the 2-2. Now the count is full. The scoreboard new. Jeanette trying to reach here to lead off the 6th inning. And he will. Just past a diving Josh Harrison. 9-game hitting streak now for Jeanette.
That was a nice battle right there. He fell behind in the count. It was 1-2. He kept laying off those curveballs. Finally, Tyone giving him a fastball down in the zone. Might have been ball 4, but too close to take. And hits one just out of the reach of Harrison at second. So leadoff base runner for Milwaukee.
Both teams now with 5 hits. And that career high hitting streak goes up another notch for Jeanette. There's Hernán Perez. He has the big knock here in the game to this point. He came back in the 1st inning. Turned on a Tyone pitch and gave the Brewers an early 2-run lead. That's hard hit. That's a base hit. Back-to-back singles for Milwaukee in the 6th.
All right, nice job by Perez once again on the fastball in. That might not even been a strike that time. He's really handling that pitch in very well. I mean, his bread and butter is going to right field, but he's starting to pitch him in. He's starting to recognize that and getting the bat head out and hitting it hard in the left field. So the first 2 reach. Guy can hit. He really can.
Archimedes Caminero, hard throwing right-hander, starting to get up now on that Pittsburgh bullpen. You're right about Perez, though, continuing to show that value. Ray Searage, the pitching coach, on his way to the mound. Big stage of the game here. Brewers have something going, up 1 against the young right-hander for Pittsburgh. Given up 6 hits has Tyone.
He always goes out there and he covers his mouth. He puts his hand over his mouth just in case anybody can read lips. They don't want him to. They don't want anybody to know that he's saying, just relax, those strikes. You know, you're doing okay. Maybe mix in that curveball once in a while.
You keep that strategic advantage to all of that advice. Cover the mouth, right?
That's just some top secret information, man.
Big time intel.
Yeah.
Chris Carter to the plate. Let's check out the Powerball home run leaderboard. Big man with 23 to lead the way for the Brewers. The 23rd happened last night of the 1st inning against the Pirates. On a bit of a dry spell with the big fly, and we'll see if last night that gets them into that groove that, as the Brewers and their fans know, can happen in a big way with Carter. 58 RBIs for Carter. 0 for 2 tonight. A strikeout in the first, a ground ball to second in the fourth. Taillon with a 1-1. Good fastball.
In 94, losing a little bit of velocity. He was at 95, 96 with a couple of fastballs in the first couple innings.
Brewers trying to put some pressure on Taillon here in the sixth. And Carter is out on strikes. Did not hold up. Mike Winters over at first base. Couldn't check it.
Yeah, he went.
6 strikeouts now for Jameson Taillon. One out. Runners at first and second for Kirk Newenheis. A bunt single in the fourth inning. Able to push it away from the shift. Curveball is in there from Taillon. Scooter Gennett started the inning with a single to right, and on Perez a single to left before Carter struck out. Newenheis with a fly ball to center, routine for McCutchen. 2 outs.
Yeah, still has enough on that fastball to get it by the hitters, especially when it's up in the zone. I think most of the damage against him have been on pitches down. When he gets it up and over the plate, Brewers have had a difficult time squaring it up. He still hasn't walked a batter. 6 strikeouts. I mean, this guy's only got 5 walks in now 8 starts.
And that's impressive. At the plate, presented by Wendy's, Martin Maldonado, a second inning single to right. Struck out in the fourth.
So if you're wondering why the Brewers are swinging early at fastballs, that's why. You're not going to wait around for that pitch right there.
The pitch bounces up there, and Gennett will advance, as will Perez. Wild pitch, and the runners move up.
That backhand effort by Cervelli and on the curveball. Not able to keep it in front of him. Normally you try and block it, shift over, and because of that, both runners able to advance.
1-0 to Maldonado. Curveball's in there. It was 5 nights ago in the 6th inning when Maldonado helped break open a game against Braden Shipley and the Diamondbacks with a 3-run bomb. There's runners at second and third right now with 2 outs. Fastball is up. Brewers trying to get to Taillon again here in inning number 6. Another fastball from Taillon, and it's 2-2.
Fastball, curveball, that's pretty much been it. It's all he's needed.
His 2 seasons did Taillon. Tommy John in 2014, a sports hernia last year. Kept him off the mound. A bouncing ball, foul over at third. Very highly touted prospect of this Pirates organization. Finally healthy enough to get back out there. Big scare in that game against the Brewers last week in Pittsburgh when Hernan Perez hit that liner off the back of Taillon's head, but stayed in the game and pitched well.
Yeah, he was very fortunate, able to turn his face away from the baseball. Had he not been able to do that, it would have been much different.
A scary moment, but the athletic trainers got out there. He said, "I'm good," and he was. 2-2 pitch. Maldonado, a ground ball to Jung Ho Kang. And the Brewers miss a chance here in the 6th. The first 2 reach. The next 3 are retired as Tyone keeps his team in the game.
Come out here and check out this Hall of Fame tour, and one of the coolest things at this exhibit is the virtual reality tour. I'm going to put on these glasses and you can get right on the field. You can warm up with the San Francisco Giants. You can take BP with people and you feel like you're right there. Once again, if you want to come and check this out, make sure you go to HallOfFameTour.com. But time is running out. July 31st, tomorrow, Sunday, is the last day.
He's styling right there, Rod.
That's pretty hard to do. I mean, if you worn those glasses, you can get disoriented very quickly, but he's able to pull that off pretty nicely.
He's locked in. And you talked about that here in the last couple of weeks, how cool that is.
Yeah.
So you are right in the middle of it all.
Standing right on the field. You're right behind a catcher as a pitcher's warming up. And just like you're a big leaguer, as Tyler Thornburg continues here in the 7th inning. 44th appearance for Thornburg. Great numbers for him.
He will face Francisco Cervelli. Cervelli, Harrison, and Mercer in the Pirates' 7th inning. Good one here at Miller Park. Low scoring, but no shortage of activity. Chase Anderson went the first 5. Torres worked the 6th, and now it's Thornburg's turn. Cervelli is grounded to first. He has walked. (3-0) now for Thornburg. Gave up a run on Thursday. That ended a good streak that he had going. 11 straight scoreless appearances. (11 straight without giving up an earned run, to be clear. Pirates with a run on 5 hits. And Cervelli thought it was ball 4. Instead, it's strike 2.
Yeah, get the glove back on. Does he think that's low? That's a good pitch.
Well, Fox tracks right on it. David Freese was ejected in the 5th inning. At the end of the 5th, he didn't like what was strike 2. Payoff pitch to Cervelli, and that's a strikeout.
Well, let's see what Cervelli has to say to Marty Foster. Same thing happened to David Freese, and he ended up getting thrown out because of the strike 2 pitch.
And knowing that, Cervelli, as you can see, still not happy, but is going to avoid chirping with the home plate umpire. 1 out as Thornburg battles back from 3-0.
But it was a strike. I mean, clearly, Fox Tracks had it well within the strike zone.
Here is Josh Harrison. There's a curveball from Thornburg. As you and BA have talked about too, that Fox Tracks, that's part of that system, that measurement that evaluates the umpires. That's
what they use. Same thing.
BA back on Monday, by the way. And the Brewers start their road swing in San Diego. 0-2 to Josh Harrison, who has 2 hits tonight, singles to center and to right. Now the 1-2. Breaking ball slapped to VR. 2 up and 2 down in the 7th.
Hey, tonight's time of the game winner, Camp's Bar and Combined Locks. If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Friday night game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. Combined Locks up there in Appleton. Up there by Appleton.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Fox Valley area.
Gotcha.
That's what I've been told anyway.
The research team of Camp's Bar.
Guy to your left.
Locks.
Guy to your left, the expert.
Mike Faulkner. A wide range of knowledge.
He's like Rand McNally.
He provides far more than statistical data for us. A pop up off the bat of Jordy Mercer, and that's Chris Carter, and that's a 1-2-3 inning for Tyler Thornburg as he helps his team keep this 1-run lead. Lead the Pirates, bottom of the 7th, more than 36,000 here at Miller Park tonight. Nobody sees sports quite the way Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock do. The brains to know and the guts to say. That's Colin and Jason on FS1's new daily sports talk show. Speak for yourself, weekdays at 5 p.m. Central. Well, the night is done for Jameson Taillon as the hard-throwing Archimedes Caminero in for the Pirates.
Yeah, this guy can bring it. Upper 90s with a slider to go with it. Taillon's number, I should say Caminero, 320 earned run average in 37 appearances. He's got the big high batting average, a 294 opponent batting average, and yet another good start by Taillon. Back-to-back very good starts against Milwaukee. He's given up all 3 runs in 2 starts against the Brewers.
And tonight a 2-run homer from Hernan Perez. That's the difference so far as Ramon Flores will lead off 7, 8, and 9 in the Milwaukee order as Flores looking for his first hit. He's grounded back to the mound and also grounded to third, or make that to first. 0-1 pitch to Flores. You'll see it at 97. Caminero can give you that. 29-year-old from the Dominican Republic. Appeared in 73 games last year. Originally signed with the Miami Marlins organization back in 2005. Pirates acquired him in February of 2015. The 2-1 pitch. Smacked it right off his leg.
This is a very good bullpen for Pittsburgh, and when they get a good start, they don't like to waste it. Good start by Taillon. Just haven't been able to get many runs on the board, at least so far, through the first 7 innings. But once you get into this bullpen, you've got your work cut out for you. As if Taillon wasn't tough enough.
Seen some pretty good pitching here in this series. A 3-1 game last night. Brewers won. 2-1 right now. Two balls, 2 strikes to Ramon Flores. Inserted in the lineup late was Flores. You see Will Smith getting ready. Chase Anderson worked the first 5. Torres worked the 6th. Thornburg the 7th. And Flores a ground ball to John Jaso. And he'll feed Caminero for the first out. There's Keon Broxton. Getting some regular turns here. Has been producing in the last few days. 0 for 2 as you see tonight. This came over from the Pirates, part of that Jason Rogers trade. An opportunity for Keon, knowing how solid that Pirates outfield is and figures to be for the coming years. His opportunity to get some regular turns would be here, and this is his 4th stint up, and to make some things happen.
Yeah, 2 completely different players. Talk about Jason Rogers and Keon Broxton. I think Rogers thought he had a shot at playing first base, going into spring training, but it didn't work out for him. Ended up being Jaso, left-handed hitter, and they always take Jaso out of games late when the Pirates have a lead.
And Sean Rodriguez, very good utility player, super utility player. Jaso playing first for the first time in his big league career. 1-1 pitch to Broxton. That's hit hard and down the line. That'll be extra bases. Broxton can fly, and he is on his way to second with a double. He's thinking triple. Here's the throw to third, and he's in.
Goodness.
Wow! The
man.
speed of Keon Broxton.
You don't see that every day. A triple down the left field line. That's something you don't see every day. Well, they had him shaded around toward the gap, not thinking he was going to pull it. And it took Marte a while to get there, but that's a triple on a base hit or an extra base hit down the left field line. Wow, look at this guy run. Puts the afterburners on around second base and just does beat it at third base. That's impressive. That is impressive. Goodness.
Boy, this young man could be such an exciting player. He is an exciting player, and you think of the upside in his career. Ooh, he could be fun to watch. Pinch hitter Andy Wilkins. Pirates have the infield in.
And he's starting to really get comfortable at the plate. I mean, I think he's finally settling in a bit. He's getting some consistent playing time, and it's paying off. And you knew that that's what it was going to take for Broxton. They call up where they say you're going to play a while. That's what they've done, and he's starting to swing the bat.
Remember that first time around He was 0 for 24, 0 for his first 24, up and down, and making it happen in that fourth opportunity with the big club. Here's Andy Wilkins. Pinch hitting opportunity as you see the Pirates with the infield in. Wilkins.
And again, a very short bench. You got Elmore on the bench. Not sure if Braun is available. He was taking batting practice, but it wasn't looking like he was 100%. Lucroy. I don't think they're going to use Lucroy. Elmore might be the only guy left.
Wilkins hit his first big league homer 5 nights ago. Pinch hit roll against the Diamondbacks. 27-year-old. Brief turn with the White Sox a couple of years ago. Now appearing in his 14th game with the Brewers. 1-1 pitch. And that gets behind Wilkins, but rebounds hard, and Broxton's going to have to retreat.
Wow, how about that?
Man.
Right back to home plate. We've seen some crazy bounces in the backstop back there at Miller Park. Look at this. How does this not hit? Andy Wilkins, #1. And how about, where's it? Look at this, where it ends up. He picks that up. Would have been an easy tag. Broxton would have been out easily.
They want to take a look. I think they want to bring the athletic trainer out to look at Archimedes Caminero. You had both Ray Searage, the pitching coach, and he was being trailed by Clint Hurdle. It was Hurdle motioning for the athletic trainer.
Yeah, they might want a new pitcher. Well, who knows?
Well, when you uncork one like that, you want to check out. Are you all right?
Yeah. Well, it was an injury checkup, first of all. Now it's a trip. And Clint Hurdle and the trainer are back in the dugout. Ray Serra is talking to everybody. This now becomes a trip to the mound. It wasn't before. Look at this.
Wow.
I haven't seen that in this ballpark.
Boy, how about Keon Broxton too? Just seeing what was going on and not trying to press it. The way he runs, thinking I could beat that anyway, but he slammed on the brakes, and
good thing he did.
Yes, sir. 2 balls, 1 strike. To the pinch hitter Andy Wilkins as Caminero regroups. Came up from Colorado Springs on July 6th, did Wilkins. 76 games for the Sky Sox. And Wilkins draws a walk. Brewers have him at first and third with 1 out. Up a run in the 7th.
Man, it looks like Caminero is going to stay out there. They got a left-hander up. I think it's Jonathan Neese, if I can make a somewhat educated guess. Yep, that's who it is. And he just started. He's not anywhere close to being ready.
Hurdle's going to have Caminero face VR. And he started Ramon Flores grounding to first. Broxton a triple to left. And then Wilkins, a pinch hitter, drawing a walk. Here's VR. Infield still in for the Pirates.
And you play the infield in because you don't figure you can double him up. He's too fast, especially from the left side.
Pirates have some outfielders with big arms, but I'm not sure there's an arm out there that could get Keon Broxton. And a fly ball of any distance. Let's find out. 1-0, Wilkins running and uncontested. Runners at second and third. Well, that was easy to get. Wilkins gets his first career steal. His first big league homer this week, and now has his first career steal. A ball, a strike to Jonathan Villar. Infield single for Villar, the first. Stole a base, his 38th of the year. A ground ball to short, and a strikeout in the fifth. Jameson Taillon with the first 6. Gave up the 2 runs. Brewers threatening against Archimedes Caminero in the 7th. Hard thrower. He gets you a lot of strikeouts. Last year he struck out 73 in 74 in 2/3 innings out of the bullpen.
Yeah, strikeouts down a little bit, and this might be his last hitter. Jonathan Neese probably ready in that bullpen.
3-1 pitch.
That's Scooter Gennett on deck. Boy, Villar had a nice pitch to hit.
You see what he has done with runners in scoring position. Very good in these situations. The Brewers team that has had more than its share of struggles collectively with runners in scoring position. Villar has been a big exception. Three and 2. Here it comes. Back up the middle. Broxton coming home, and now they have Broxton hung up. Cervelli will just sit there and wait. Wilkins has gone to third, and now the tag is applied.
Yeah, jam shot. Good pitch by Caminero, and doing a nice job getting down and being able to make the play. Yeah, but Andy Wilkins able to get over to third base. There's that cut fastball in on his hands, and that jam shot. They're able to get Broxton coming to home plate. And you see Wilkins, he'll just stand there. Cervelli not sure what he's doing. They're finally tagging him out.
And now Clint Hurdle will turn to his left-hander, John Neese. Brewers up 1, 2 outs, runners at the corners. Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lights, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. A 2-1 game. Brewers still have something going. Runners at first and third with 2 men outs. Sprint Hurl now will go lefty versus lefty. Scooter Gennett, who's hit left-handed pitching well this season. He'll have another opportunity to do so as on now for the Pirates, Jonathan Newenheis.
Yeah, Newenheis 22 appearances and 18 of those starts relegated to the bullpen. Yeah, for Newenheis, last pitched on Tuesday. A 3-up, 3-down 8th inning. That was against the Mariners. You see his numbers, a 491 earned run average. One of the issues that this Pirate club has had is ineffective starting pitching.
Or that Neil Walker trade. And he will face Scooter Gennett, who's hitting .270 against lefties this year. RBI chance now. Andy Wilkins, the runner, at third. VR at first. And first pitch swinging is Gennett. Keon Broxton a triple, but then erased on a play at the plate. Comebacker. Caminero to Cervelli. Brewers still have runners at the corners. And Gennett's down 0-2.
And he's not a hard thrower by any stretch. I mean, mixes it up. At least he did when he was a starting pitcher. Fastball 89 to 91. A couple of different breaking pitches.
No balls, 2 strikes to Gennett. A couple of weeks ago, the Pirates had an 18-inning marathon with the Nationals, and Newenheis got his first win in relief in that game. Worked 3 scoreless innings to help the Pirates beat Washington in 18 innings. We are running. Gennett lifts one, shallow right field, a base hit in front of Polanco. Wilkins will score. Villar to third as Scooter Gennett continues to produce against left-handed pitching.
Yeah, just hanging right in there on a 0-2 pitch. Newenheis, first 2 pitches were fastballs, then he flipped up a curveball. And Scooter just able to get enough of it to dump it in front of Polanco out and right. Good job for Scooter, keeping that bat in the hitting zone as long as he can, and just able to dump it out there to drive in a big run. And it's going to be 1 and out for Newenheis. He's done. Well, the Badger Mutual Insurance run, courtesy of a Scooter Gennett base hit to right on an 0-2 pitch. Well done.
Big RBI for Scooter Gennett as the Brewers extend the lead to 2. Another pitching change here for the Pirates. It is 3-1. Hurry, get here, get here. 3-1 Brewers in the 7th. A homestand, 7 RBIs on this stand right now, including a big RBI single with 2 outs in the 7th. That was against John Neese, so Clint Hurdle goes back to the right-hander. Now Jared Hughes on the mound for the Pirates.
Yeah, we saw him in yesterday's ball game. Good right-hander with a good sinker. Left-handers hit him a little bit better than right-handers. 39 appearance for Hughes. Earned run average just over 3.
Hernan Perez, a 2-run homer for him tonight. That was back in the 1st inning. Singled in the 6th. The Brewers have pushed 1 across here in the inning. And Jonathan Villar, the runner at 3rd, with Jeanette at 1st. And a wave and a miss from Perez. Another 3-1 game right now. It was last night's final. Jeanette's running, and he'll have second without a throw. Let's go back to that 1st inning against Jameson Taillon. With Villar on board, Perez launches one into the seats in left to give the Crew the early 2-0 lead. And a ground ball into hole past Mercer. That'll score 1. Here comes Jeanette. The throw from Marte. And Jeanette is out at home. Marte with a big arm. And he shows it off. But the Brewers get a couple of runs. Villar scoring on that single. Perez his 3rd RBI of the night. And the Brewers lead 4-1. We move to the 8th. Couple of runs for the Crew in the 7th. Scooter Jeanette's playing a role there, as did Hernan Perez in the inning. RBI singles for both in the 7th inning. As the Brewers now have a 3-run lead. Hey, Brewers fans, if you can't watch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with the all-new Fox Sports Go app. Download the app. Take Fox Sports Wisconsin and Brewers baseball with you wherever you go. Well, we have seen Torres, we have seen Thornburg, and now it's Will Smith. He gets a turn on 90s nights.
Yeah, 26th appearance for Smith. He's got the 1-3 record at 360 earned run average, really because of 1 outing against the Cubs. 5 runs and not get an out. Other than that, he has been outstanding. 20 strikeouts in 20 innings. He's only allowed the 2 home runs. He's got the pitcher's spot and then the top of the order coming up.
And Sean Rodriguez will come in to pinch hit. They're in the 9th spot for the Pirates. He's having a good year is Rodriguez when he plays. You see him a lot of times, as Rock has mentioned, as a late game sub over at first. 10 home runs for Rodriguez this season. He has been a player of value for the Pirates in the final year of his contract.
Yeah, 3 for 15 coming off the bench is Rodriguez. Matt Joyce, the left-hander, is their best pinch hitter.
And Joyce is on deck. Will Smith with the 1-1. It's 90s night. He needs to do well. He should do well by all rights. It would just be wrong for any other result to unfold here. 2-2. Two in the first and 2 in the 7th for Milwaukee. The Pirates' lone run coming in the 4th. Two pitch. See ya.
Yeah, he was looking for something else. That fastball right at the bottom of the strike zone, and he knew it. Probably looking for that Will Smith curveball or slider. Gave him the fastball. Check it out. Yep. It's been a strike all night.
One up when one down, and Matt Joyce has more pinch hits than anybody in the National League, and that included last night. A pinch single in the 9th inning. 12 pinch hits. He's also driven in 13 in that role. It's a breaking ball for strike one from Smith. Joyce pinch hitting for Jaso. He hits lefties much better than Jaso. But not having much luck right now as he's down 2 strikes and nothing. And you see the numbers. Joyce is a pinch hitter. Not only the 12 hits, but power and run production to go with it.
And he's hitting .292 against lefties. Not bad.
Jaso 071. So if you're wondering why the move, there's your answer. Will Smith struck out Sean Rodriguez to start this inning. He's ahead of ball 2 strikes to Matt Joyce. And he turned that one over, and that's right to Chris Carter. 2 up, 2 down.
Hey, this season you can eat fresh and score big with the fans' favorite ticket package from Subway restaurants. For every $25 you spend at Subway, you'll earn a free Brewers ticket. Visit your local Subway restaurants for details.
36,000 plus at the ballpark tonight. It's a good game. A 4-1 lead for the home team. Will Smith, the 3rd man out of the bullpen that Craig Counsell's turned to tonight. 2 outs, bases empty for Gregory Polanco. He's hitless in 3 trips and 0 for 7 in the series. Oh, 1 pitch. And there's a drive. Right field, and it is a 4-2 game. Polanco gets into one. His first hit of the series. A big fly, and the Pirates are within 2.
Yep, hung a breaking pitch, and Polanco hammered it. No doubt about that one.
That's his 14th home run of the year.
Check it out, the slider. Watch where it ends up. That's up around the belt, and Polanco gives it a ride. Squares it up and knocks it out of here. So the 2 big runs for the Brewers. Bottom of the 7th coming up big.
2-out blast off the bat of Polanco, and now McCutchen. 0 for 3. He did reach on an error in the 4th inning. Scored the first run of the night for Pittsburgh. Breaking ball, little blooper, and Jeanette will squeeze it, and that's it for the Pirates. Alonco a solo homer, but Will Smith keeps his team up. It's a 4-2 game. Bottom of the 8th we go.
As we get set for Brewers Live post-game, Milwaukee with a 4-2 lead right now over the Pirates. And Davey, you could talk pitching, you could talk individual hitting. If you do the hitting side, you got to talk about Perez. 3 hits, 3 RBIs, including a home run.
Well, you know, this young man continued to impress the more he plays, and get the Brewers off to a good start in the first inning with a 2-run homer. But then he came back right in this last inning with a big 2-out clutch base hit.
That's what the Brewers need. That's what's been missing. And I'll tell you what, on this homestand this week, they've had some big hits from their big guns, but I'll tell you, they're filling in the blanks pretty well. Again here tonight without Lucroy in the lineup because of the speculation of being traded and Ryan Braun out with another injury. We'll talk about all of those things and hear from Craig Counsell and the Brewers clubhouse when we come back in just a few moments. Brewers Live postgame, Matt.
All right, Craig, thank you very much. You have Matt Joyce in left. Marte moves from left to center as we get the changes squared away for you here as the Brewers come up here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Sean Rodriguez over at first for the Pirates. And Neftali Feliz is on the mound. Chris Carter leads things off.
Man, Feliz used to be the closer over there in Texas. 48th appearance for Feliz, a .297 earned run average. You can see the strikeout totals. Locates his fastball, has a very good changeup and a slider to go with it.
Well, Feliz was a terrific closer. In fact, the American League Rookie of the Year in 2010. First rookie to record 40 saves with that in an all-star season with the Rangers. Two balls, 2 strikes to Carter. Couple of strikeouts tonight for Chris. And a ground ball to second. And that's the strikeout there. Is completing it will be Cervelli for out number 1. Let's check out Miller Lite's What's on Tap. Series finale tomorrow. Francisco Liriano, who pitched very well in his last start against the Brewers. The lefty gets the ball tomorrow. And Matt Garza on the mound for the Crew. We'll get things started here at 12:30 on Fox Sports Wisconsin. The finale of this 10-game homestand.
Man, it's been a rough year for Liriano, but he did pitch well against the Brewers back in Pittsburgh, as you said.
He was roughed up in his last start against the Mariners earlier in the week. Here's Kirk Newenheis. A bunt single working it away from the shift. That happened in the 4th inning. Newenheis with a defensive, actually a couple of defensive highlights. He threw out Jung-Ho Kang trying to score from second. And he was in a 9-3 play. Jameson Taillon, the Pirates pitcher, thought he had a single to right. He did not. As Newenheis took advantage, Taillon started to pull back a little bit on the gas pedal. And on a liner to right, Newenheis was able to throw him out 9-3.
We've seen a lot of outs on the bases tonight,
including Starling Marte caught stealing, got caught up in a rundown as well. Newenheis a drive deep right center field, and that's number 5 on the homestand for Kurt Newenheis.
Just dropped ahead on a fastball from Phillies, and he sent that one out of here right down the middle, down in the zone, and that's right in the wheelhouse of Kurt Newenheis. And boy, that ball just flew out of here way back.
Have a homestand, big guy.
Oh boy.
Have a home schedule, big guy.
He is unbelievable in this ballpark. Got to figure out a way to make him think he's at Miller Park on his next road trip.
Exactly. From Miller Park in San Diego.
Maybe drag his apartment into San Diego. Let him stay there.
10 homers, 9 here. Here's your homestand. Good for him. Good for the Brewers. 5-2 Milwaukee. And the Brewers with a couple of big shots tonight. Perez a 2-run homer in the first, and Newenheis solo blast in the 8th.
I think he set up his hotel room to look like his place.
Whatever it takes.
You know, I mean, Jason Schauger, the Brewers equipment. I mean, he carries everything. Why not, you know?
He does it all.
You know, couches and tables and artwork that Newenheis has, if he has any. Make him think he's at home.
Wow. Incredible splits. Craig Counsell, everyone's talked about it. Everyone's trying to figure out how to pack some of that run production on the road. Maldonado was swinging a miss. A couple of strikeouts here in the inning for Phillies. 2 men out. Ramon Flores. He may be facing someone else as Clint Hurdle with the slow walk to the Miller Park mound. That'll do it for Phillies as Hurdle will go to his bullpen one more time. The Brewers with a run across on a Newenheis homer. 5-2 Milwaukee. is empty. A Kirk Newenheis homer giving the Brewers a 3-run lead, and Hurdle going to his pen one more time as Tony Watson is now on.
Who is supposed to be the closer for this ball club now that Mark Melancon is gone. Hard throwing left-hander, 39 punch outs in 44 innings of work, and that 266 earned run average.
So he'll get some work here in the 8th inning, facing Ramon Flores. 10 hits for the Brewers tonight. Brewers have beaten the Pirates 7 straight and lead in the 8th tonight. Watson, an all-star a couple of years ago, logged a lot of innings the last few years for the Pirates. In fact, more than anyone in the big leagues.
Yeah, very tough on left-handed batters. You can see the way he releases that baseball, kind of a little bit across his body, making it awfully difficult on left-handed hitters.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Flores stays in there. A big run for the Brewers to get them back up by 3.
And get that run back. Make sure you keep that momentum. And you got your closer ready in the bullpen.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Flores. Here's the other way and a base hit. 11th hit of the night for the Brewers and the first for Ramon Flores.
Oh, that nice hitting right there. Going right with that breaking pitch. Actually fastball. And just kind of serves it out there in the left field. That's a nice piece of hitting by Ramon. That fastball away. Look at the way he goes down and gets it. And that's got to put a smile on the face of Darnell Coles. Jason Lane, the 2 hitting coaches. Just like I taught you.
Good piece of hitting. You can see. That's how easy it is, Molly. Here's Keon Broxton, who tripled to left in the 7th inning. Not an everyday occurrence. Out in front there.
A little overswing right there for Broxton. He had that head pulled. Thought he had a pitch that he could drive, but Watson put on the outside corner.
One pitch. Bouncing ball right side and through. Well, the Brewers doing some work against this Pirates bullpen tonight. A couple of runs charged to Caminero. One charge to Feliz. And the Brewers looking for more now off Tony Watson.
How about that adjustment for Broxton? I mean, remember he pulled his head really badly trying to pull one into left field. He stays right on this one. Kind of had a little meeting with himself saying stay on the baseball. He did that and he's able to find the hole out in the right field. Good adjustment right there for Keon Broxton.
I'm going to watch a young player grow. And now Jake Elmore in there as a pinch hitter tonight. He's been in the lineup, started 5 times here for the Brewers since being called up. They started 6 times, I should say, at 5 different positions. played all over the outfield. In there in left last night. He's also had starts at second and third. Wherever and whenever. One pitch from Watson. It's Corey Knebel joining Jeremy Jeffress in the Brewers bullpen.
If the Brewers get another run, he'll be in.
In front there on the change, 2-2. Flores the runner at second, Broxton at first. Tony Watson, the fifth reliever that Clint Hurdle has turned to tonight. Jamison Tyone with the first 6, pitched well, gave up 2 runs, the 2-run homer to Hernan Perez in the first. Pirates bullpen has let people down. Big Boss Man's in the house tonight, Rock. Still has the belt.
There you go.
King of the squared circle right there. Oh, that's awesome. Mike Vasallo watching.
You a big fan?
He's in awe right now.
You a big fan of wrestling?
Me, you know, in the Big Boss Man era, I did watch.
Yeah, right.
I'm not like Vasallo now, though. Media relations guru.
Yeah, he kind of takes it a little bit overboard.
You think? Well, the writers have some fun with it too. Tom Hardercourt, Adam, and Todd Rosiak. I don't know if Adam McCalvey gets too engaged in that. But
yeah, not too
Hardercourt
much.
does. No. Elmore back to the mound. Watson will end the inning, but a good inning for the Brewers. They extend the lead, and time for this man, Jeremy Jeffress, to do his thing. He'll have a 3-run lead. Kirk Newenheis with a solo homer, his 5th bomb of the homestand, and the Brewers lead the Pirates 5-2. (5-2) Brewers as we head to the 9th at Miller Park on a gorgeous Saturday evening. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Spend the night with luxury. Jeremy Jeffress trying to finish this one off and give the Brewers another win on this homestand.
Yeah, picked up a save last night. Only took him one pitch. He only needed one out. He got it. Actually got Andrew McCutchen, and he's got a 3-run cushion here tonight.
We'll start off by facing Starling Marte.
Actually, it was Gong.
Yes. Ground ball that Hernan Perez bobbled for an instant, recovered, finished the play, and Brewers fans went home happy. There's a liner, and Scooter Gennett going up and pulling it down for the first out.
Well, got it down on the handle just enough to really have it kind of just a flare out there at Scooter Gennett. Not that tough a play. Perfectly timed leap and able to get the first out in the ninth.
Solid vertical, though.
Yeah, wave with the hand in frustration.
Not bad ups. Scooter. There's Jung Ho Gung. Jeffress at 95, but missed. Trying to extend the Brewers' winning streak against Pittsburgh in the home games to 8. The count is even. It's the amazing dominance that the Brewers have had over the Pirates over the last 10 years overall. They came in 101 and 56. Now there were some poor Pirates teams there, but in the last 3 years, we're talking about playoff baseball for Pittsburgh. Breaking ball is in there, and it's 1-2.
And you ask the Brewers about it, they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to break it. They don't want to break the jinx, right?
Just keep plugging along. Jeffress ready to bring the 1-2 pitch. And a ground ball. VR up, and a scoop from Carter. Nicely done. Nice play, VR. Carter the scoop, and there are 2 men out.
Tremendous range and a good throw off balance. You know, by Jonathan VR. He was shaded in the hole. Look how far he has to go to get it. Able to get himself on balance, and a nice pick by Carter at first. Well done on both ends.
Good defense from the Brew Crew here tonight. And this Miller Park crowd appreciates it. There is Francisco Cervelli. Cervelli grounded to first in the second inning, struck out in the 7th. Sandwiched in between, a 4th inning walk. Here's the 1-0. Fouled that off his foot. Five runs, 12 hits for the Brewers. 2 runs, 6 hits for the Pirates. Chase Anderson with the first 5. He was followed by Carlos Torres, Tyler Thornburg, Will Smith, and now Jeremy Jeffress. 2 outs and the bases are empty. Fastball missing inside. Jeffress went 3 weeks between save opportunities, and now they're coming in bunches. Two and one the count to Cervelli. A liner to right, and Newenheis will have to lay up. Cervelli is on with 2 outs.
And went right with a fastball away, and And Jeremy Jeffress going to have to wait one more hitter. Good piece of hitting by Cervelli to take that one into right field.
There's Josh Harrison. A good night. Single to center in the third, single to right in the fourth. Harrison has done damage in his career against the Brewers. Jeffress looking to close this one out. One-0 pitch.
Jeremy, good velocity, really good movement. Going down and into that right-handed batter. Really hasn't been affected too much by that really long layoff. I mean, right after the All-Star break, he barely got into a game, and it really hasn't affected him much. He still has the same stuff, very effective.
Harrison 2 for 8 in his career against Jeffress. And a swing and a miss at 95 from Jeffress. One strike away from giving the Brewers another victory. It would be their 6th in 9 games in this homestand. Cervelli, the runner at first. Here comes the 1-2.
Little extra on that. Little extra on that one. 96. Yeah, here it is. You want a fastball? Here it is.
Now let's see what he has in mind. Snap off that curveball right here. Two. Tried the heat. Really reaching back.
Yeah.
97.
You got to make him hit his way on right here. You don't want to walk the tying run of the plate. Anything can happen once the tying run comes up.
And Hurdle has seen his team score just 3 runs so far in this series. Brewers were 3-1 winners last night, 5-2 right now. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Josh Harrison. Harrison had the big hit, turned into a walk-off, a triple and a throwing error that gave the Pirates a win last week in Pittsburgh. Payoff pitch coming. And that's outside. And now the tying run comes to the plate. Jeffress going straight heat there. He loses Josh Harrison.
Now the tying run does come up. That was a good battle for Harrison. He fell behind 1 and 2 quickly and able to work himself for a walk. And now Jordy Mercer represents the tying run.
Tired the first 2 to Jeffress. A liner off the bat of Marte. A ground ball from Jung Ho Gung. Cervelli a single. Harrison a walk. And now Jeffress will face the shortstop Jordy Mercer. Hitless in 3 trips tonight. Mercer has 6 home runs on the year. He has driven in 36. A line out to right, a strikeout looking, and a pop up to first. That has been Jordy Mercer's night at the plate. Jeffers with a 1-0. Little liner, that's over Jeanette into right center field, a base hit. Cervelli will score. It's a 2-run game, and the tying run is on. All of this happening with 2 outs.
2 outs, nobody on, and Jeremy Jeffers has allowed 3 consecutive batters to reach. You see that fastball tying up Mercer, but able to get enough of it to dump it out into right field. 1 run in, and now Pirates with the tying run at first base, and Sean Rodriguez coming up. Not done yet.
As we mentioned, Rodriguez has some pop in his bat with the 10 home runs so far this season. Pirates are making Jeffers work for it in a big way here tonight. Josh Harrison at second. Mercer the runner at first. Pitch to Rodriguez. And he didn't hold. That's strike 1. Ten homers for Rodriguez. He had 12 2 years ago with the Rays. This year in 2014, the 2 seasons where he has hit double-digit home runs. Oh, 1 pitch. And there's a fly ball, center field. Keon Broxton has it tracked, and the Brewers get the win. Pirates put a scare into the crowd, but Jeffers closes the door. Save 26. Big night for Scooter Jeanette. Jonathan VR, those guys having a roll. Hernan Perez, a 2-run homer in the first. And some good defense by the Crew as well as they take the first 2 games of this series.
Yeah, it's been impressive to watch these guys. They'll go at it. I mean, that's the second game in 3 different games that the Brewers have won when Braun and Lucroy have been out of the lineup. That's impressive. And the Brewers able to pick up yet another win against these Pirates and have guaranteed themselves a winning homestand. Well done.
6-3 so far. They'll try to make it 7 tomorrow. So the Brewers take the first 2. Look for the sweep on Sunday afternoon. Let's send it down to Craig Gashawn for Brewers Live postgame.
All right, Matt. Boy, we're looking forward to